Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the updated Raven 28 from Fjallraven. And this is a bag that I've been a big fan of over the past couple of years. I really like the aesthetic that it has, the organizational layout, the build quality. I did have some issues with the prior version that Fjallraven has made some improvements to here, so I was excited to have a chance to test this out over the past couple of weeks. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience using it. I'll call out some of the differences from the prior version, show you how I've loaded it out, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the style here is largely unchanged from the previous version, so it still has a little bit more of an old school vibe in my opinion, kind of classic, sort of book bag aesthetic. Reminds me a little bit of a JanSport type backpack, but I think that this is a look that works well as it really won't go out of style and is versatile enough to take into the outdoors, to walk around a city, use it around campus, or even for traveling. As far as the materials, the bag feels solidly built. On the exterior, you have Fjallraven's G1000 fabric, which feels like it's going to be rugged enough to hold up well over a number of years. The fabric itself doesn't offer a ton of weather resistance. It is going to keep your stuff protected from lighter rain. And then you also have the ability to wax the fabric to give it a little bit of additional weather resistance. On top of that, you also have some great YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you have two external water bottle pockets, one on each side, and these are large enough to hold a 20-ounce water bottle, which is what I normally carry with me. Even with that water bottle in there was still a little bit of leftover space, so something slightly bigger could probably fit. I don't know about a 32-ounce Nalgene. This compartment also isn't very elastic. The volume is fixed, so what you see is what you get. And as you place larger items in here, it will start to eat up space from the main compartment, so that's something to keep in mind. They're also not as deep as I would like to see for a water bottle pocket typically, but still glad that they were included. One new addition to the bag above the water bottle compartments is that there's now these little loops, again one on each side, which can be used for attaching accessories with something like a carabiner. There's also a really cool use case that I found that I'll talk a little bit more later in the video when we take a look at the back panel. Moving into the capacity, the bag comes in at about 28 liters, which is a really versatile size in my opinion. I was able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me on my day-to-day, and I still had plenty of leftover space. This is a bag that if you pack it out, it can tend to stick out a little bit. It's not the sleekest or slimmest silhouette, but it was never so overwhelmingly big that it felt uncomfortable navigating crowded areas, jumping on a public transit, or carrying onto pretty much any domestic or international airline. Taking a look at the straps on the back paneling, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have plenty of padding. They feel really comfortable and broken in right out of the box. On the inside, you have a meshy, breathable fabric to help prevent moisture from building up. And these straps also have a nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders. One thing to note here is that the bag does not include any sort of a sternum strap, and it doesn't seem to be very easy to add one. You just have the Fjallraven logo in here on one of the straps, which was an interesting choice given that this is a little bit of a larger bag, so you can pack it out with quite a bit of stuff. It can get a little bit heavier, so it might have been nice to have the ability to add one. I haven't really noticed it too much, but just something that I wanted to call out. And then one of the biggest improvements in this version of the bag is that the back panel finally has some breathability. This was my biggest pain point with the previous version of this bag, is that my back would get super sweaty very quickly. The back of the bag would feel super wet. So, with this size of a bag, when you pack it out, especially in a hotter climate, there's always going to be some level of sweat building up here. But this definitely helps make that process a little bit slower. And even when it does get more moist, it just feels more comfortable overall to have this fabric here that's just going to give you a little bit more breathability. It's going to allow it to dry quicker when you take the bag off. You also have some slight air channels here, so still some room for improvement as far as the air channels in particular, as there's still not a ton of airflow, but definitely much better than the prior version. One last thing to mention while we're on the back paneling is that there's no luggage pass-through included with the bag. However, as mentioned earlier, these new attachment points on the side actually allow me to use a third-party strap and create my own luggage pass-through that's going to allow me to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on my back. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. I've really liked this layout over the year as I've used the Raven series of bag. Starting off on the front, you have a simple quick access pocket. The zipper here has been updated a little bit on this version. It used to have a rain flap. Now it still has some level of covering here, but it just makes it a little bit easier to open and close the zipper. Sometimes those can tend to get stuck on the rain flaps. This area is going to be great for smaller and maybe flatter items that you might want to reach a little bit more regularly. In my case, I just use this to store my Kindle e-reader, and then I also have a full-size Moleskine notebook. Behind that, you have a larger admin compartment that has some internal organization. This has a pretty wide opening so that you can take full advantage of the volume, as it does go down pretty deep. So you can place something taller in here, a jacket, some gloves, or in my case, I just used it to store some of the bulkier items that didn't fit into the slip pockets per se. So here, just kind of tucked in at the bottom, I have my sunglasses with their case. And then I also have the Tom Bin Ghostwell pouch that has some of the accessories that I don't want floating around. And I also tossed in my GoPro. Moving up along the back, you have a few simple slip pockets. They don't really have a ton of elasticity per se, but still enough volume to be useful for smaller accessories that I want to be able to grab easily. So here on the right, I have a lightning cable to charge my tablet and my phone. In the middle, I have a tin with some Band-Aids and ointment. All the way on the left, you have a slightly smaller compartment that's going to be good for something like a pen, a stylus, or in my case, I just have a little flashlight here. And then on the lid of this compartment, you have two additional mesh zippered pockets. One other change I noticed is that on the previous version, this zipper seemed to go down a little bit lower, which made it easier to access this bottom zippered compartment. You can see that it goes down quite a bit, but it's not like a clamshell style opening, so you can't have as much visibility as I would like and as you had with the previous version. So just a small nitpick, but you still have enough space, to toss in any type of accessories that you might want to use this for. I like that it also has the mesh to make it easy to see what's on the inside. In this compartment at the moment, I just tossed in a deck of playing cards, and then at the top, similar style compartment. Again, you can see into the inside at the moment. What I currently have in here is a power brick to pair with that cable to charge my tablet and my phone. I have a portable battery that I like to have with me for when my phone is running low on battery. And then on the inside of this compartment, you also have a little lanyard with a plastic clip, which is going to be a good spot to attach something like your keys or a multi-tool. At the top of the bag, you have another quick access compartment. A nice thing about this one is that it has a soft fleece lining on the inside that's going to help prevent against scratching for anything more delicate that you want to store in here. At the moment, what I currently have is my Apple Magic Mouse, and then I also have my AirPods, which I grab a lot during the day, but there's still enough volume in here to toss in your phone, some sunglasses if you don't want to use a case with them, or anything else that you just kind of have in your pockets and you want to toss in quickly while you're going through TSA. On the back of the bag, you have a separate laptop compartment, which is able to hold a 15 or 16 inch laptop comfortably. Currently what I have is my 13 inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's plenty of leftover space at the top, and I really like that this is a separate compartment and not embedded into the main area. That's one of the differences between this and the Raven 20, which doesn't have this separate area. And so, really like the padding that's included on this sleeve. It's fairly thick. On the front of the compartment, you also have a soft fleece lining similar to the one that we saw in the top quick access pocket. This is pulled up a little bit off the bottom of the ground and padded on the bottom, so lots of protection all throughout. And so pulling my device out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside, and this comes up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker device, it should be able to fit in there comfortably. And again, with the padding, the fact that it's suspended, and the fleece lining, it really feels like my device is going to be well protected while I'm running around throughout the day. One last thing to call out on the front of this compartment is that you have a separate slip pocket, which doesn't really have padding per se, but it would be a good spot to maybe store some documents, folders, or maybe even your tablet if you want to keep it separate from the other items in the bag and easily accessible. The last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment. And this is a top-loading bag, but the zippers come down low enough that you can open this up and still have plenty of visibility into the compartment. I really like this simplified layout, and with 28 liters of space, you can really place a ton of stuff in this area, even bulkier items. Diving into what I currently have here, first up at the top is a packable rain jacket for the rainy season that I currently find myself in. I also have my Beats Studio wireless headphones with their case. I have the Evergoods Civic Access pouch, which I've done an in-depth video for. I'll make sure to link to that in the description below if you want to see how I normally load that out. I have my DJI Mavic Mini with its hard shell case as well. And then the last thing that I currently have in here is my Levitate portable standing desk. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside and get a sense of the space. I really like how much this comes up, which allows it to handle bulkier items easily and will also allow it to work well as a minimal travel bag. You definitely toss in a larger packing cube, a dock kit, an extra pair of shoes, and easily use this for a longer weekend trip. And then on the lid of this compartment, you have one more mesh zippered pocket. Again, just tons of organizational options all throughout the bag. In this one here, I just have a little manicure set that I normally like to carry with me, but another good spot to store smaller tech or toiletry items that you might have that you want to reach easily. So really love the overall layout in this main area and throughout the rest of the bag. This continues to be one of the most versatile bags that I've tested over the years. I really like the improvements that have been made on this version. They kept what worked well, and if you're looking for a timeless bag that's going to offer a great build quality and is going to be able to hold a ton of stuff, and this is going to be a fantastic option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the updated Raven 28 over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company site or on sites such as REI for about $110, which to me feels like a pretty reasonable price considering the features and build quality that it has to offer, and it also compares well to other similar bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Alvo 30, which is also from Fjallraven. It was a really solid, minimalist, kind of everyday and hiking backpack. Great harness system, very similar to this one. Enough breathability on the back. It has a more simplified layout. It just kind of has top loading compartment that you can just dump all of your stuff into. Still has good laptop protection, some quick access pockets, external water bottle pockets. It just doesn't have as many sort of different admin areas as this bag here. So if you're looking for something with Fjallraven's build quality and aesthetic that's gonna be a little simpler and still be able to hold a ton of stuff, that's gonna be a great option to consider. The next bag this made me think of is the North Face Surge backpack, which is a really solid all-purpose bag. It comes in at 31 liters, so it's gonna be able to hold a little bit more than this bag here. It has a great organizational layout, tons of pockets for everything that you might need to grab during the day. Really excellent laptop compartment with a suspended sleeve. The harness system on that is super comfortable. I really think it's gonna offer maybe a little bit more comfort and support than this bag. One of the biggest differences between the two is also gonna be in the aesthetic. This one, again, has more of that kind of old school, subdued vibe, whereas the Surge backpack has a little bit more of a modern, shinier aesthetic. It's got a ripstop nylon that's also gonna offer maybe a little bit more built-in weather resistant. Both bags are great, but if you're a fan of the North Face, if you're looking for something that's gonna give you a little bit more comfort, or that's also just gonna have a little bit of a different aesthetic, then that's gonna be a fantastic option to check out. Another bag this made me think of is the Osprey Arcane Daypack XL, which like this has a little bit more of a subdued or old school vibe. Really versatile bag, comes in at 30 liters, so it can hold a lot of stuff. It's got a more simplistic organizational layout than this. It still has plenty of pocketing, which is really great for organizing all of your essentials. At 30 liters, it's something that could potentially work for a quick trip. It's got a comfortable harness system. It's maybe not going to be quite as breathable as this one. I actually preferred this one a little bit to that one, but still really durable. Osprey always has some very comfortable bags, durable. And if you're looking for something that's going to have a little bit of a different organizational layout to this, but still has a similar aesthetic and that's going to be durable and reliable, that's going to be a fantastic option to take a look at as well. And then the last option that I'll mention here, if you have a little bit of a higher budget, is the Evergood CPL24, which is a great crossover bag that's going to work just as well in the outdoors as it does for exploring the city. I really like the minimal and subdued aesthetic that has. It has an excellent organizational layout. The pockets all just offer plenty of space. It's very easy to load out. It has a clamshell style opening that's gonna make it easy to pack the bag out and be able to see all of your stuff. It has a suspended and well padded laptop sleeve. So just a really solid all around bag. It comes in at 24 liters, so it's gonna be a little bit more compact than this, but it can still hold a ton of stuff. A very solid bag, and if you're looking for something that's gonna be with you for many years to come and just offer a very excellent layout, then that's gonna be a fantastic option to take a look at. With that being said, the Raven 28 holds up really well against all those options. I really like the improvements that Fjallraven has made here, and if you're looking for a durable and comfortable all-purpose bag that's gonna give you a ton of space and organization for all of your essentials, I definitely recommend you check this one out. And I'm curious to hear what you all think of the updated Raven 28 and how it compares to some of the other great daily bags that we've featured on the channel in the past. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.